Hola, mi amores. Hi out there, everyone. This is a very special weekend, isn't it, ladies? Yeah, it's our weekend. Those who are mothers, bless you all. I chose to do my Know Your Truth Real Talk this week on Mother's Day, about Mother's Day. So I'm the host with the most, and I'm glad you tuned in. Thank you, IAAH Radio Plus, for tuning in here as well. And DJ 5 a.m., thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, you too, my subscribers, like, and followers, and people that like and share. Thank you for taking the time out for realizing truth needs to be liked. Unless it's not your truth, who cares, right? I mean, I'm still gonna come bring the message. I'm not here for the gain, all right? Most people are, but not me. So I'm glad and hoping that I'm glad you guys came through, and I'm hoping that you actually are having a great start of your weekend. I'm sorry, I'm going to be taping. This is taped. I have a lot going on, so I'm going to be out and about because I'm the host with the most. I bring those shows. I'm out and about travels. I'm out and about when I'm out and about. Um, Also, Know Your Truth, Real Talk, Legal Affairs, and I was bringing a comic bench, but I just have too much to do, so I wasn't able to. Let me define. Um, I'm out and about travels is when I'm out on the plane, and when I'm out and about, it's around neighborhoods outside the state, maybe, but not too far, like from New York to Connecticut or Pennsylvania or New Jersey. That's my I'm out and about. My I'm out and about travels is destination traveling mostly, or international. I mean, same thing. What I meant was domestic traveling. Um, which is pretty good. I like to show what's going on and where's the best places to go. So check that out. I have some past videos. I've been working so hard, I haven't had time to go out yet, but will soon. I will share it with you. With this weekend, I'm going to be out and about. I'm not sure if I'll share that. It's just personal and family matters. So anyway, so I'm bringing to you today on Know Your Truth, Real Talk, a subject that is really important that we speak on it. A lot of people wouldn't or won't. But when you go out and you see a lot of mothers celebrating, whether it's on the day or the day before, and you're feeling so happy about them, well, sometimes they're not the ones that have done the job, right? Let's make it and keep it real. And unfortunately, those are the ones celebrating more than the ones that have done their job. And there's nothing really wrong with that, except why should those of us that have done the job share the same space with them, right? But I wanted to make sure that before I start this content, um, everyone should have forgiveness in their heart. If you weren't raised by your parent, your mom, or she wasn't there for you, or someone else took care of you, it's great. That's beautiful, because everything that's a bloodline, everyone that thinks that blood is everything, that's nice and all, but sometimes that's not real. Sometimes there can be people that step up to the plate ahead of the people that actually gave birth to you. And so, with those people that have done that and that's not their child, God bless you. You know, kudos to you. It's a lot of work when it's not your child, and or it's a stranger, or it's a family member that brought you up, your grandmother, or whomever. This is all for you, those that have done your job. But I wanted to bring in this content, the truth of those that haven't as well. So we're gonna look a bit at a bit of both, actually. All right. So I titled this because this is part of my on family affairs. I changed my family matters to family affairs. And so on family affairs today, this Saturday at 3 o'clock, the subject is more than money. What makes a real mother? All right. To me, I'm just going to say, I'm not going to go ballistic or anything, but a mother to me is anyone that has given birth to a child. But a mom is someone that actually been there. I'm just going to make that short. That's how I want to define it, but it's not for everybody to define that way. That's how I define it. And because it's true, when you give birth to a child, no matter what you've done, you're a mother. So when they see that title, usually mothers that see that title that haven't done their job, they even gave up their children. They're celebrating Mother's Day. It's because of the title mother. So I choose for myself, not this show. Um, when you hear mother here, it's going to be different. But for me, it's mom. Those are the ones that have done the job, because it's not going to be someone that has a blood tie with me or something. It's going to be someone that actually was there for me, giving time, giving um, everything that a mother should give: time, their finances, because it takes a lot of finances to take care of children. So this is someone that doesn't know you or do know you, but the ones that don't and they put out their effort like that, I mean, they don't have to, right? I mean, we all think that blood ties is you must, but a lot of mothers don't. So that's what this content is about. So it's titled More Than Money, What Makes a Real Mother. So first and foremost, I wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to the real ones. You know, the ones who didn't send you Cash App requests before saying I love you. Yeah, those. We're going there today, folks. Yes, we are. Because somebody needs to hear it. Because not everybody with the title mom is doing the same job. Okay. And so, like I said, sometimes you'll go out there and you're not going to know. And most of them aren't doing their jobs. And I've seen it in the courtrooms um, where I work, and outside of that, in people's personal lives and people close to me. I've seen they're not. They'll say they're mothers, but they're not doing their jobs. The efficiency of being a mother is more than just showing up for a paycheck, a child support check, or whatever the case may be, or alimony, or whatever it is. You know, yes, we need these things, but if that's all you're there for, there's a different reason for you to call yourself a mother, because I don't see it that way. But again, because not everybody's title mom is doing the same job. Some built lives and some built invoices, is what I wanted to say. And when I say that, is because of what I just said. Some of us build lives and some of us are building invoices. And those that are, you know who you are. And if that made you uncomfortable, I'm sorry, but that's good. That means you've met at least one of each of these type of individuals, mothers, some who built lives and some who built invoices. I mean, no one's perfect out here. So you're going to meet someone that and even if you don't know them, you'll see them on the street, the way they treat their children, the way they're like, oh, I'm going out, I could care less about my child. I've heard this before. I'll leave them with my grandmother or with their grandmother or my mother, because my life comes first. Those aren't actual mothers. Your life doesn't come first. Once you have a child, you decided to. They shouldn't have to pay for the decision of you bringing them into the world to say, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to leave you here and there. But that's another story. Is it? Or is it this week's story? All right. So let's start with the real mothers, okay? The real ones. A real mother is everything, right? She's running a full time emotional support center with no days off, no benefits, and somehow, for some reason, no attitude about it. It's just like it has to be done. So it's going to be done. She's the one who fed you when she was broke. All right. And I remember those days when I was broke for my children. And what I did, I went out there, I made sure I got promoted. I took every exam, whatever. I wasn't actually broke, but I should have had more for myself to it's expensive, diapers and stuff like that. So we've all been there where we was either with less financially, and some of us had more and didn't do anything. But she's the one who fed you when she was broke, defended you when you were wrong, and corrected you when you thought you were right. Remember that? Yeah, that's a real mother. Real mothers don't say, after all I've done for you, you owe me anything, right? Because that's what you hear from some mothers. After all I've done for you. And I've said that as a joke to my sons before, but we joke around. That's not real for me. But for some people it is. But what real mothers say is, After all I've done for you, go do better. That's what a real mom does, not the what I said previously. And now that's not an investment plan, that's a legacy when you tell your child, because this is what real mothers do. What After all I've done for you, go do better. That's real. Keeping it real. That's beautiful. Now, when we want to talk about a transitional mother, let's talk about that category. A transactional mother, sorry, not transitional. Transactional mother, that's someone that likes to do transactions with their children. And I don't mean love, transaction, um, things that are important in life. No, we're talking about transaction of monies, for instance, the receipt keeping, balancing sheets, emotional invoice mother, that kind of mother. Maybe you know one or maybe you don't. Hopefully not. But I'm sure everyone knows of a mother like this. You know that one, right? You've ever seen one or experienced it in your own personal life, you'll know. If you haven't, you won't. But they're out there. Believe me, I see them all the time. They're the ones arguing in the courtrooms of how much money they should be getting if the judge ordered something else. But they haven't put a dime in there. They're not doing what other mothers like myself have done to raise our children, whether on our own as single parents or divorcees. We go out there, we make that money. It's not just child support for us. Like, screw that. Excuse my expression. I'm going to do what I need to do because I don't want ties and connections to my past, but they're going to take care of their children. So we're going to make that verbal agreement. You take care of your kids. I'm going to get promoted. I'm going to take this job. I'm going to make it happen for me. I'm not waiting for you. That's what real mothers do. So when they don't have it, they're not sitting around waiting for somebody else to give it to them. So I've seen in the courtroom where judges are giving a certain amount and it's a lot. And they're like, oh no, I need more because they know that person has more and they'll fight for more. I mean, but they're not going to do anything extra. They're not going for bigger positions, better careers. They're not going for promotions. They're not going for a second job. So what does that say? So in some instance, if you know, like I do from the inside, what's really going on with child support, you'd be upset too. Because not everybody that's going for it is going for it for the right reasons. And they can actually, like other women like myself, other mothers, go out there and do something as well. Yes, two people made it happen together, but why would you sit down and wait for somebody to help you do it? Why not do it together and make it peaceable, amicably? Let's both put our 50-50 so this child can have the best that they can have. No, instead you're seeing people are like, oh, you're gonna do the 90% and I'll give you 10 because you got me in this in the first place. Those kind of things is what I see. But getting back to the story, every conversation sounds like a collection call, a call from collections, You got my money. If you've ever seen this type of mother, let me know in the comments down. Every conversation sounds like that with them. Or something like, I carried you for 9 months plus interest. And sometimes she didn't even raise the child. She didn't. She financed you and she expects returns. This is a transactional mother. Love comes with conditions with this one for sure. And that's the sad part because measure loves in dollars, gifts, or appearances. And somehow you're always behind on payments. So these are the transactional kind of mothers, transaction mothers who they're only being here as being a mother or providing for their children is, look, I had you so I can get another income, because I'm not going to go out there and do it. And you are my commodity. You are my income. Instead of going to build their legacies, their children is what they're building. Billing, not building. Okay. Whew. And it seems like these children are always on behind on payments because they're not giving up enough. They're not getting enough. Like I see in the courtroom, if the judge doesn't give them the amount they're looking for, they're very upset. And like, who are you to disrespect the court? Don't You brought your situation to us? We didn't come to you. Make that make sense because it don't. How dare you? I mean, you're ruthless. But on the day of, and it's always a Sunday, right? For Mother's Day, a church day, you're out there acting like you did something. No, lady, please. Um, when we use our children as for leverage, mostly those who are transactional um, mothers, they're using their children as a status um, for their relationships, leverage as status, relationships, or resources, and that's it. In other words, they're leveraging, like I just said, they had their child and it wasn't for the right reasons. Not all the time, please do not comment on that. We're talking about transactional mothers whose whole total being is transactions. Transactions meaning monetary, right? And basically, they do it for status, being a child, have a child for leverage, status, relationships, and resources. And I've seen it a lot when I worked in the family court part of the courthouse. So no one can deny me facts unless you have proof that that's not being done. I work it, I live it, I see it, and I bring it to you on this channel. So, because it's embarrassing sometimes too, and I'm hoping to change people from bringing your situations into the courthouse unless you're coming in for a crime you've committed, someone brought you in to sue you or something like that. Other things I believe, can be worked out, and sometimes they can't, but I would try, the best you can, because when motherhood becomes a business, the child becomes the currency. So here we have your child being in and out, um, wanting love from you and things like that, but you're bringing it to the courtroom so that they can all see your business, know that you are looking for something that you could have talked to. Sometimes you can't, but those that you can make that effort to do so on both sides. But this is Mother's Day weekend and not Father's Day, so I'm gonna have a show for them. Be ready for that, guys. Next month for Father's Day. And so now I want to discuss real life consequences, and here's where it stops being funny. When kids are raised by real mothers, they grow up knowing what love feels like. And this is important because a child needs to know that. Kids raised in transactions, though, they grow up negotiating it, for love. They don't ask, am I loved? They ask, what do I have to do to be loved? And that's sad. And I've seen that a lot. And that right there, that turns into adult relationships that feel more like contracts and than connection. So here we have a child who has to grow up quicker than they not normally have to, just so that they can be loved by their parent. And there's a lot of children, they'll do anything just to get love, whether it's right or wrong, because of mothers like this. They're gonna do whatever it takes to for their mother, agree with their mother, even when their mother is wrong. No matter what it is, whether the mother does crime, drugs, it's gonna be okay. Now, I'm not saying all children, but some that are looking for the love of a mother, really intensely, intensely, is going to have that effect on them, that mother is never going to be wrong for them, because if they go against their mother, they're not going to ever they're going to feel like they're not going to ever have that love from them because they're not getting it in the first place. And so that's sad, but it's a reality check that we have to look up at. So now let's get clear that this is not about money, okay? Not all the time. Some of the best mothers are or were struggling financially and still gave their children everything that mattered, right? Being deeply committed to motherhood. A lot of us do that, right? And some had money and still made their children feel like a bill. So it's not about money. This isn't about income, it's about intent. So it's about how are you being raised? Are you being raised as a human or managed as an asset? And so that's where it becomes scary, folks, because you're not going to know until you become a young adult, maybe in the teenage. And some kids are pretty fast nowadays, but you're going to figure it out either before you become in your preteens or later on when you're an adult. And it's going to scare you really bad that you realize all these things at once. But yeah, these are the mothers that are transactional, It's sad that the children are going to, they're not only paying for it, but they're going to realize it soon. Everything that's the truth will come out. So be very careful of how you raise your children, how you treat them, and how much love you are or not giving them, because they'll never forget it. They may use it against you. Like if your child is calling you after your first name instead of mom, then you know why. All right, and don't be mad at them. You got to figure that out for yourself. Now, if they're doing it disrespectfully and you have been a good, great parent, mother, then they need to get their beat. I mean, I'm not here promoting violence, but it says spare the rod. Don't spare the rod in the Bible. So, I mean, it done my children right. I didn't always do it, but I had to give them a little whack once in a while on their, wear backside. But then you got to give them love alongside of that. You don't just treat them, throw them in the garbage after hitting them, or after disciplining them. You got to show love after that. You punish them. If you have to pat them on the back, whatever the case is, you got to show love later. Love comes with everything, and leaving that out, hmm, it's probably a big bargain you take in there by leaving it out, because now they're not fully understanding. They know they did wrong, but now you don't love me anymore. So basically, that has to be instilled. I did that when I disciplined my children. I always showed them love later and let them know exactly why they got the punishment or their little papa. And you have to explain this to them so they can understand it. If they don't understand it, then and you just leave it there like that and you don't show them love and you're going out to a party right after and leaving them with someone else or their father or whatever, there's no understanding there. So these children become resentful later on, and you're not doing your job as a mother, I should say, because this is not about the children right now. This is pretty much about both, but more of being a mother. I can't teach anyone to be a mother. I learned on my own out of bare instincts. I mean, if you're going to be a good mom, you're going to know based on instincts, not a book. They can't teach you in a book. I think it could help, but I didn't read a book. But that's not for everyone. Some people need to read books or go to classes and stuff like that, parenting classes. And I think that would be great if you know you're not doing a great job and you feel like I don't know what to do. Yeah, take parenting classes, go see a therapist, go to your priest, your pastor, I meant, or priest, because some people they're Catholic here. So whatever it is for you, go see that therapist, that person that can help you and your family, someone outside that can do it, and that won't be a hindrance, because you can go to family and they're not going to always give you the right information, you know? Yeah, you got to really go to someone that's a professional that's been trained in it. Your pastor, therapist, so whatever it is, parenting classes, whatever. But getting back to the subject here again. So now that some of you all can relate right now, about what I was saying, you call your mom and before you can say hello, she's like, "So you got this week's check? You got paid this week?" Those are the kinds that I was talking about. I'm doing a little comic relief, comedy relief here, because this is what I'm talking about when you don't know how to be a mom. And some of them, this is their intent in the first place. So when you have to call your mom, or you do call your mom, and before you say hello, she's like, "So you got paid this week?" Yeah, know what that's about. Because, ma'am, is this a wellness check or a financial audit? That's what you want to know, right? Like, really, come on now. Let's be real. You got to do what you got to do. You can't just make everything about you as a mother. Okay, you got your Mother's Day. Every day to me is Mother's Day, though, but the children come first. So when you are dealing with children that grow up and now they're getting paid and everything, why are you asking them if they got paid this week? Say hello, how you doing? Didn't you go get a job and do something for yourself by now? I mean, times Time's ticking. It's time to go work. I mean, if your child is grown now and the child support ended and you don't have the money, don't go to them. Yeah, I'm sure they let them come to you if they want to give you a little surprise. Here, mom. Here you go, mom. I love you for what you did. They will. If they're not doing that, there's a sign that maybe you didn't do anything. And it's not funny. It's just that how do you expect to get something back when you haven't given much? But that makes sense, right? So let's reflect on this question. Here's the question. When you think about your upbringing, did you feel supported or sponsored? Yeah. Were you raised with love or leverage? Very important to know the difference between those two. So, as I'm coming to the close of this show, Know Your Truth, Real Talk, you know, a real mother might be tired, stressed, and even struggling. But one thing she's not doing is calculating your worth. Calculating your worth. She's building you, not billing you. Don't forget that. She's building you, not billing you. Big difference with real moms because motherhood is not meant to be a hustle, it's meant to be a foundation of love between you and your child or your children. You know what's really funny before I get to the final thoughts? A lot of people, you mess up with one and you continue to keep having more. Why? If you know you're not good at it in the first place, please give them up for adoption. Yeah, because they'll do better off somewhere else than to be with a thoughtless, selfish person in life that only thinks of themselves and continue to have children after children after children. Now, I don't care. It's not good that we see so many women having different children, different fathers. But when you go past three different baby daddies, I can't stand corrected on this so much because I know I've seen it in the courts where the docket numbers and child support were 4 and 5 docket numbers per woman. Now, not all women, but let's say out of 10, 3 to 4 out of 10 women that came in. And those dockets separate each child by the last name and other by daddies. They're separated by fathers. So, what is this? You're gaining by doing so and then taking each one of them. You could not actually work something out with any of them? Are you in here for a paycheck or what? And I bet you're the one going to celebrate Mother's Day. Hmm. Let's go figure. I'm sure you are, but would we know that? No, we wouldn't know that because when we're out there, we're believing that every mother is a mother, that she's done her job. We don't want to think that they haven't, right, ladies? That's for sure. All we could do is pray for these women, forgive them, and hope they change. Some of them will never change, but let's pray for their children at least. Hopefully they don't suffer because of it as adults, if they even reach adults, because there's so many things going on with abuse and stuff like that. The sad part is not only the abuse is going on and stuff, things around the child not being loved. No one knows about this. They don't see it, and some people do and do nothing. But these children grow up lonely, and these mothers are going out celebrating like they did something. But either way, all I can say is we have to forgive them. So today, if you got a real one, just celebrate her, recognize her because she's deserving. I say recognize them every day. And on Mother's Day, do even more. You don't have to buy a car or anything, but recognize them every day, every week. Every day is Mother's Day. We do our jobs, those that have done their jobs, and we love our children every day. We don't stop just for one day out of the year and say, well, today is I Love My Child Day. Unless you're one of those mothers I explained, a transactional mother, transaction mother. Because in a world where everything has a price, she gave you something that didn't. So we got to be very, very, very careful of um, how we treat our children, even when we have stress, that we know who we are so that they can know who they are as a person, as a mom, so that when they grow up, if you have girl children, they'll be the best mom ever. And if you're not that mom and you're selfish, that your children will actually not become you. I've seen that, I've known that, and I know a lot personally on that level, and work experience, life experience, that I've seen some people that go the other way. I'm not going to be my parent, my mother, you know, and that's a good thing, unless they're a good person and you don't want to be good. But it's sad out there, and all we can do is wish that people, their own children, could forgive them, because forgiveness is huge. So I wanted to wish every mother out there, every grandmother, every foster mother, stepmothers, godmothers, legal guardians, a happy and blessed Mother Day, even those who haven't been there for their own selfish reasons, because it reminds us of who we do not want to become. Yeah, I salute all mothers who always made a way and put their children first. Have a great Mother's Day weekend. I think you should start Saturday today. I'm taping this because I'm out and about, but I think you should start Saturday this weekend. And because you deserve it, those have done the job. I salute you. I really do. Kudos to you all. Have a safe one. I hope you all get exactly what you deserve and be blessed, multiplied, and prosperous. And because, God is watching over you. So you better do the job that He gave you to do, because you chose to be a mother. So I would feel bad if you didn't fulfill your duties, because you're not going to get away with it maybe right now, but you won't. So with that being said, let's get to the better terms. Mothers who's done it all, God bless you, every one of you. Wishing you the best. Please come see me my channel next week. After you enjoy yourselves, let me know what's going on. I'll be live. Hopefully you'll come in and talk to me about what you did. Hopefully those that deserve it, because I know those that don't is going out there, and it's okay. We just gonna learn not to be like you, and that's where it comes. So, with that being said, thank you for having me here. IAAH Radio Plus, all the best DJs. Um, they have all kind of music, 24 hours a good day. Go check them out, all genres, on IAAH Radio Plus. And on IAAH Radio, you get house music. They got the best DJs, DJ Buggin' Hard, DJ 5 a.m. And the new DJs, welcome to IAAH Radio. And it's good to have you all. Thank you to my new subscribers, those who do take the time out to like, because they actually see the content being real. Um, and I thank all of you for even taking the time to view it. Really, it means a lot, because I like to get that message out. Maybe it'll change someone from being lacking, because people go through things, and we just hope they don't take it out on their children. So happy Mother's Day to you all, and I will see you next week, bringing you the truth and nothing but the truth on Know Your Truth Real Talk with me, your host with the most, just as I have knowledge is adjourned. I will see you next week. Ciao. Blessings.